You don't need to rely too much on a name.
Now, still on the Standard, we have a rather, well, on a lighter note, we have a story about, remember Mbugua, who married Wambui Otieno some years back? He has remarried. So the headline for that is Mbugua weds after Wambui Otieno loss. Now, he first hit the headlines 15 years ago when he married former freedom fighter, 42 years, his former freedom fighter, 42 years his senior. Yesterday, he wedded an Anne Wangari at a mass wedding in Nairobi. Now, what do you think, Senator, about this headline? Does it even merit to be on the top page of the Standard?
No, it is a positive story. It is what we call a human interest.
It is a human interest, yes.
In the sense that it brings humor.
Yeah.
It is bring what we call pathos, irony.
I know.
It is a positive story of love and triumph.
Yeah, exactly. And on page 3, we see the beautiful couple there after they just tied the note. And we're having there a picture that just takes us all way back to that moment where he hit the headlines and had tongues wagging across the nation when he chose to marry a woman who's 42 years his senior. What do you think about this story, Honorable Odege?
This was a lost youth.
Yeah, lost?
Lost.
Why?
As when he's regaining back his life.
Some would say he knew what he wanted and he went for it.
This was a lost youth.
Okay.
And when you see him now regaining his life back, I think it's a good news to...
You know, I disagree with that notion.
Yes.
You know, the question you must ask yourself, is marriage an institution that is based on interest, or is it an institution that is based on values?
On values, yeah.
I'm not so sure. But I think if you approach it from an interest point of view, I think it is more strategic and more rational. And therefore, the decision by Mbugua to marry Wambui was an interest-driven, rational, and empirical. No, you know now, you can hide under the facade of the love, I don't know what. But you must always remember, you must always remember their key interest in massive gathering. Because without saying, it is the, you know, look here, we marry a person, but when you now start living, real life things start to happen. For instance, there's no money. Surely, it makes a lot of sense from a strategic point of view. Marry this lady, get money, live well. Thank you.
You beg to differ with this sentiment?
Very much. You know, when you look at marriage in totality, is about starting new life and raising a family.
Yes. But was it possible to raise a family given her age? I mean, one would argue that wasn't really the goal.
At the moment, he is now ready to raise a family. By then, I don't agree with him.
No, he did. Agree with him. What I would say, long-term calculation.
It was a long-term investment.
Yes, and to me, there were good calculations. And for me, I think, no, look here, I'm sure he got something. How many young people out there who are suffering? How many?
But they let them work to make their money. You don't
whichever way. No. It was not a forced marriage.
It was not.
It was voluntary.
Exactly. On both parties.
Yes, on both parties. So to that extent, and there were adults of sound mind.
Yes, adults of sound mind who made a decision. She passed on, and he seemingly has moved on to the young Anne Wangari, and hopefully now they will be able to raise a family and move on with their lives. But he will forever be in the history books, the media history books for this, for setting tongues wagging across the country and eliciting harsh criticism and from some quarters as well as praise from others. Now, on the same page, we're talking about drought. This is page 3 of the Standard. Farmers told to plant fast maturing crops with little rain. We know in Kenya we have a staple food, maize, and this is what we plant, and farmers are having difficulties. Some of them are having to replant. So is this even feasible, as it has been covered on the Standard, as farmers are being advised to plant fast maturing crops? Is it feasible? I'll start with you, Senator. What is your take on the developments on the drought issue now that the rains are finally here?
Yes, very feasible. And although I think also our research institution should be generating seeds that can mature fast.
Faster.
So therefore, I think that's a research issue on one hand. It's also a cultural issue of Kenyans. They really consume a lot of ugali. Maybe we need to do a cultural shift to other forms of commodities. But for me, I think the research part for me
is very important, particularly with what we can do to mitigate the effects of such a drought. Honorable Dege, what do you think about this?
I support the idea,
yes,
but we need to go beyond a mere statement and be seen on the ground. Actually advising the farmers and even providing those seeds.
Exactly.
Because you put it in dailies and even go to TV, majority of Kenyans are not accessible.
Yes.
So we need people on the ground.
On the ground.
Who can also go and demonstrate.
And the interior
what people are supposed to do. Because this year, there is a very bad sign for the whole country. And we need to take it very seriously.
It raises the question, is the government now putting in place mitigating factors so that when it does not pay off, because shifting culture and also shifting people's mindsets cannot be done in such a short period of time. So there also needs to be mitigating factors. And the article says, ideally our farmers would be